This computer. Cool. All right, let's go. Well, Lauren, great to talk to you as always. Would just love to hear a little bit about where were you at when we first met as far as your career?
So when we first met, I was at the tail end of my maternity leave at Amazon. I was on month 7, and I was heading back to be a software engineer at Amazon, and I was kind of digging my heels in the dirt. I really was unsure what it was going to look like going back, even part-time. I was really concerned about being able to like take care of my family, both my daughter and some things that were going on with the rest of my family. Not just physically being present, but really mentally being present because I knew that the kind of job I'd be going back into was tremendously taxing, like mentally, and consuming. So, yeah, that's where I was before, and it's pretty much what made me reach out to you.
Yeah, because we had worked together beforehand at Galvanize, which was cool, and it was great that we could keep the relationship going, and it was a real honor that you decided to work with me again. Could you say a little bit about what happened while we were working together?
Yeah, so I'll say, just to respond to what you said first is like I reached back out to you because we already had this trust built. The first time I'd gone through job search was right out of a boot camp, and it ended up being right into COVID. So you helped me through some incredibly rocky times at that point, emotionally and tactically. So I knew that coming back to you would give me the same experience in this very different season. So some of the things that we did while we worked together, uh, that was the question, right?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're
Yeah,
good.
okay. Some of the things that we did together. So we hashed through all the different kinds of scenarios of going back to work, right? And I loved the reflective exercises that we did. There was visioning, there were strength reflections, strength outreach, and those kinds of activities helped me think more creatively and deeply about what was important to me as a whole at this time in my life. And you guided me through every step of that, the whole roller coaster, all different iterations. Specifically, like what it would look like going back to work part time or even trying to negotiate that part time, um, getting a different job, a different role, a different team, starting my own business, which was eventually what we landed on.
So could you tell me a little bit about what ended up happening? Like what are the major points, including where you're at right now, between where you're at in maternity leave and this current moment?
So the major points from where like from maternity leave ending to where I'm at now, major points would be going back as an Amazon engineer part-time on a ramp up program, using that time to really experience, like to really understand if it was still the right fit for me and experimenting with the other versions we talked about. Um, then coming up with a plan to leave Amazon by, I think, the end of July. I kind of made a commitment to that. But as I was there longer and as you and I talked more and as my family situations became clear and my my like inspiration and creativity became clear, that timeline moved way up. Um, Also within that was adjusting my understanding and comfort with my financial um, cushion, my runway. And then I think the other major thing was really uh, excavating what my next pursuit was going to be and how much that aligned with who I am. Like it really enlivened my creativity again.
Hmm.
Um, and then working to try to negotiate a layoff, which wasn't something that I had even considered was possible. But even the exercise of doing that was fun and creative. Uh, and then eventually just wrapping up my time at Amazon and trusting that I could start my own business.
And there was that interim step of a contract role you had
I forgot
for
about that.
6 weeks, 8 weeks. How long was it?
Just about, I think it ended up being 6 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. So, that was kind of a tiny experiment.
Yeah.
One of the directions I thought I could go was, let's see if contracting is something I can do. I loved that I learned how easily I could land a contract role. And then I loved how easily I understood that that was not the position calling to me and that it was the universe really was asking me to trust my own creativity.
And now you're building your own business.
I am building my own business and it's taking off. I have clients already. I have a really cool platform that I'm building along with my business, and I'm meeting incredible people along the way.
So
It's
what
so
would
much
you,
fun.
it's amazing to hear, truly. So glad that you're making it happen. Last question for you. What would you tell people if they were thinking about working with me?
Let's see, what would I tell people? So I would tell people that your your presence and what you can sort of evoke from a client with that presence is one of your true superpowers. And you can't do that by just going to, an app and working with a virtual coach or just asking yourself these kinds of questions. I think we're meant to do things with other people, and you are an incredible person to do that with. Um, Especially, I think you're especially good at like focusing in on what's important right now
Hmm.
in order to get to where you want to be.
Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
That's it.
I love it.
Okay.